Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our session tonight for the continuing education series. Your presenter tonight is George Wilhelmsen. He will introduce himself shortly and then get things underway. As just mentioned, we will be utilizing the chat feature as a means of communication. So throughout the presentation, if you have a question or a comment, please feel free to type it there. If you do have a question that you want answered, you can raise your hand as a feature as well. My name is Zach. I'll be here in the background. Pedro and Pedro Trejo, as well as John Cowie, are in attendance, but they are like me. We are stepping aside so George can take it. So George, thank you very much for being here. They are all yours.
Excellent. What's interesting is my screen sharing does not show the green border, so I'm going to try it again. And hi, I'm George Wilhelmsen. I'm the former head referee of the Morris Soccer Association, and I've been a referee since around 1998, 1997. I lose track. I work at multiple levels, including recreational, professional, or youth, competitive, and adult amateur league games. We're going to be meeting today to talk about building your referee resume. If I can just find, there we go, share. And click the right slide, and then shift. There, that's what I'm expecting to see on your screen. Is there anyone who can't see a slide with a USSF referee in the lower right-hand corner that says building your referee resume? If there is, please raise your hand so I can figure out how to fix the problem.
Looks like we're good to go, George.
Looks like we're good to go. Okay, well, welcome. We're going to talk about building your referee resume. So to start with, what is a referee resume and who is this class for? This class is really for newer officials who are looking to build their referee resume and build their referee brand with new assigners and new assignments. Older referees can use this as a launch pad, so to speak, to expand their existing resume further so they can get more games. Please use the chat to put in questions you might have. We'll address them at the end of the seminar. But when we ask the question, what is a referee resume? The resume is, simply put, a short account of one's career and qualifications. So think about that. As a referee, your career starts when you're certified and grows every year as you take more and more assignments and more challenging assignments. Isn't it important to take a record of that so if someone asks you what your experience is, you can tell them? I think it is. I'm a former assigner. A referee resume is that along with your experience. So what can you use a referee resume for? You can leverage your referee resume to help new assigners understand your background. And by understanding that background, it will help them meet the games and give you the games that you want to work with and the level of games to try you out. Does anyone on the call have a referee resume already? If you do, raise your hand. I see Pedro raised his hand. Anyone else? And John Cowie raised his hand. Well, I kind of expected you guys to have referee resumes. You're like me. I have a referee resume. I got relocated in 2016 from Morris up into Rochelle. I had to meet a whole new set of assigners, and I was able to send out my referee resume to those assigners, and now I'm getting a lot of soccer games up here. So think about how it can help you get games. So in order to work as a referee, you really need to understand, what is my goal? What do I want to be as a referee? Do you want to work higher level games and make more money? Do you want to be the best referee you can and get better games and make more money? Do you want to become a referee, mentor, or coach in the future and help make money by training new officials? So let's look at what goes into your resume. It'll start with the assigners you've worked for, because most assigners have to go to the assigners meeting. They know this guy, that guy, and the other gal, and they'll call and check up and say, what kind of a referee are you? It should include a summary of your game experience, including how many regular games you've worked and how many tournament games you've worked. This gives the assigner an idea of who you are as a referee and where they can best apply you. So what goes into your referee resume? Other soccer assignments you may have had, including the date you certified as a referee, 2003 from USSF. How many years you've spent as a referee? Referee classes or seminars that you've participated in, including this one and any of the continuous educational learning library experiences that we provide through ISRC. We had one on professionalism. We've got one coming up on dissent. And any times you've been mentored or coached. How many years have you been a USSF mentor or coach? If you have, or are you? For me, it's 3 years. Now build your resume. Summarize where you've worked, what town, what towns, how many games you've worked. And in this case, you want to round down, not round up. You don't want to overstate your experience. You want to be humble and understate your experience. And what level of games have you worked? U8, U10, U12, U14, U16, U19, U23, adult. What level? So how do you start? So first off, before we talk about this, I want to remind you, if you're under the age of 18, rather than list your email and your phone number, which can be a little weird, ask your parents for permission, list theirs instead. Have people work through your parents. It's okay. We want the assigners to know where we're asking you to go. And it's much better to work through your parents than it is to work directly with the assigners if you're under the age of 18. But start with a blank piece of paper or an MS Word or any software package that you use and you're comfortable with. Put your name, address, phone number, and email on top. And again, remember, if you're under 18, it could be your parents' email and phone number. And provide an objective. For example, to expand my experience as a referee, become better. So again, how do you start? Offer your experience. Give some detail on what games you've officiated. For example, in 2024, you worked 12 games as center and 20 games as AR for the Wilmette soccer program. That gives a assigner a pretty good idea of what your capabilities are. Now, here's an example of a referee resume. And you can see this name here. I've made all of this up. So please don't email SueRef1993@email.com. It won't work. I made that up. I even made up the address. If you can find a soccer town, Illinois, let me know, though. That's a Chicago zip code. But again, to expand my skills and experience as a soccer referee by working games at different levels. And then a summary of the experience. Worked 30 games for the Wilmette Soccer Association, including 10 centers and 20 assistant referee positions. Attended the ISRC referee seminars on dissent and professionalism. 2023, first year as a soccer referee, worked 5 games for Wilmette Soccer Association as assistant referee. Here's a different one. Now, this one uses a fancier template from one of the word processing programs. And again, this is all made up. But again, to expand my skills and experience, and here is the same information. It just looks a little fancier. Now think about this for a second. If you can see this as potentially helping you get more assignments, raise your hand. All right. I'll lower everybody's hand with this incredible power tool I have. So let's talk about navigating the assignment process, because this is one of the hardest things to do as a referee. And remember, make sure you ask for and accept games that you are comfortable with. So contact your local assigners. You can contact them with email, or remember, if under 18, use your parents, have your parents reach out to the assigner and contact them, or phone. Offer them your resume. Most of the time, they're going to say, I'd love to see your resume. Please send it to me, because it will help them understand where to put you and what games you're comfortable with. Which is what I just said. With this information, they can better assign you, and you can make more money. So the other thing you need to do for an assigner is let them know when you are available. For example, pretty much every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., you're available. Tell them that. If there are areas you might be available, you can tell them that. If something changes, please let the assigner know. For example, who is available this weekend to work soccer games during Easter weekend? If you're available, God bless you, raise your hand. Well, about 3 of 15. Not a bad total. I can tell you, I wasn't available. I had family things going on. So I went into the software and I said, no, 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 no. And I knowed all of my availabilities. You can do that. So understand how to use the program that the assigners are using and block out your availability when you're not available. But when you are available, make sure they know it. Because if you aren't available, they can't put you on the game. And remember, respond promptly to games offered. Now, here's a secret thing. The assigners are a little bit like Santa Claus. They know when you looked at an assignment. They know if you accepted it or declined it or took no action on it. Assigners are a lot like us. Assigners want to assign games as quickly as possible to get qualified officials on the field as quickly as possible so they can start planning the next weeks. An average assigner may have 15 to 150 games they have to assign in a week. How easy does it make their job if you look at it and then come back 4 days later and say, nah, I don't think so? Not very easy. Assigners' jobs are hard. When they have to pick up the phone and get people to turn out on games, it's harder. So please do the assigners a favor. Look at the assignment. If you need to think about it and talk to your parents to make sure they can drive you where you need to go, then set it aside and come back within a couple of hours and make a decision. I'm either going to take the game or I'm going to decline it. Don't worry about the money at first. The money will come when you show your chops as a referee. Show the assigner what you can do. Turn out for games. Be reliable. Show up to games on time. You'll build a good reputation. You'll build a good brand. You'll get more games. Conversely, show up for games at the last minute. Turn games back at the last minute. That's not a good look, and you won't get as many games. The assigners have work to do. They don't have time for fun. Remember, accept or decline games. Please don't wait. So where can you use this referee that you're spending so much time developing? And it'll probably be an hour. Hey, you can use it when you're signing up with new assigners and get more games and get more money. You can use it when you want to move into better games, which will make more money. You can use it when you're working tournament games, where you can work Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday and make a lot more money. And you can even use it when you apply for college. A referee resume sent in with your college application can get you grant money because it shows leadership, dedication. That can be very helpful, which your parents will agree and approve if they're paying for your college education. You can build your resume. Take the time now to invest in your future. This is something you're doing for you. You're not doing it for me. You're doing it for you to help you get further into the sport. Update your resume yearly at a minimum. And I would advise you, if you do a seminar like this, get out a pad of paper and say referee resume 2025, attended, building your referee resume, CELL, with ISRC on April 21st, 2025. Put that on your resume. That shows engagement. Keep track of your games. Long time ago when I got USSF certified, I thought, why am I keeping track of my games? But I filled out the forms. And the form is the game date, the U level, the home team, the away team, the field you played in. And a couple years later, back in the old program, I moved up from a grade 8 entry level to a grade 7 official. I needed all of those game tracking. I needed all those game tracking sheets in order to meet the requirements. So let's say you start right now, you're 2 years in, you're not keeping track of your games. And a year from now, you decide you want to become a regional official. How easy do you think it'll be for you to recall all of those games you did 2 years ago? Easy or hard? I can tell you, it's pretty hard. So write it down. You don't have to have a form. All you need is Excel, Microsoft Word, some other software or word processing program, anything you're comfortable using, even a pad of paper. Game date, U level of the game, home team, away team, where played, what was the interval? Was it an 80-minute game, 2x40? Was it a 60-minute game, 2x30? If you write that down and you eventually decide to move up, it makes it so much easier. And it only takes a minute at a time. Like I said, it can be as simple as a pad of paper. It can be any software program you want to use. Anyone. They all work fine. Whatever works for you is just fine. So let's wrap this up with a summary. Your referee resume can help you make more money when refereeing. It can help you get more games, which will make more money. It can introduce you to brandy new assigners with better games that will help you make more money. And introduce you to tournament assigners that will get to know you and help you make more money. And with that, we'll open up the questions. Now, you'll note on the screen there is a QR code. I think it's opening up soon. If you could please scan that QR code and provide feedback on the seminar. The feedback system will only be active today from, well, as soon as we can turn it on until about 8:45 Central Time. The idea is that the attendees completed prior to this to exiting our session today. Does anyone have any questions? If you do, raise your hand. Anyone have any thoughts or comments? Mr. Perez, go ahead.
Yeah, so my question is, I've already reached out to a bunch of assigners last year. So if I want to get higher level games, is there specific assigners? I just met one today, but is there a specific list for higher level game assigners? Or how do you find out about that information?
That's a good question. One way you can find out about that is by talking with your fellow officials and ask them, where are the better games? Where can I get access? Who's the assigner for UPSL, for example? Who's the assigner for MPL? And the referee that you're talking with may know or they may not know, but we are a great family. So talk to your fellow referees, because we're not going to generally have that level of information on the ISRC website unless I'm mistaken. I'm so busy right now. I've worked with 6 different assigners across different organizations. I don't want any more. I got a call last Thursday. Can you be an hour away in an hour? Yes, I can. Go. I go running out the door. My wife thought I was going out on a latte machine emergency call. Nope, I was going on a referee emergency call. I picked up the center on a high-level game, and off we went. Did 5 miles on that game. It was a good game. That's really the best way to do it, because they're going to know who the high-level assigners are for the area that you're working in, and you'll have that opportunity. But be on your A game. As our state director of instruction says, don't be a lazy AR. Every time the ball goes over the end line, we go to the end line and we signal if we're AR for corner kick and goal kick. We don't do it from 10 yards away. We always go to the end of the line. Show the right behavior, show the right performance. Some of these assigners are out looking at games and say, I like the cut of that referee's jib. I think he'd be good on my upper level games. They reach out to you. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
It was a good question. Thank you. See, we got a question. Someone has an overarching question. Have you noticed any trends in refereeing in recent years? Are there more referees around now, or are there less? What does the landscape look like, and is there a desperate need? That's a really good question. So the best way to characterize this is the ISRC in every training session emphasizes with new referees, and I'm not going to emphasize it with you, no one has the right to tell you you're a bad referee on the field, not a coach, not a player, not a spectator. If it's a coach or a player, write it down, call the office, tell us who it is, we will fix it. If it's a spectator, if you can figure out the team, write it down. If not, turn in both teams, call the office, we will have discussions with the league, and we will put a stop to it. The biggest challenge we have right now is we're losing a lot of our new officials within 5 years due to abuse. And we, as referees, have to stop it. We have to shut it down. We actually have more referees registered this year than last year. However, our attrition is still higher than we'd like. Attrition has always been a challenge, but it's been more acute in the last couple of years because people seem to have forgotten that the U8 game you're working doesn't have any scouts on it, and no one is going to get a college scholarship off of it. So yes, there is a desperate need. So if you know people who are interested, people who are reasonably physically fit, who have the right approach to being a referee, because we are not there to rule the game. We are there to keep the game under control within the laws of the game. I am not there as king. I am there to enforce the rules as laid out within the laws and rules of the regulating organization. And that's it. I don't blink off rules if there's a goal differential. I don't create new rules if there's a goal differential. I call the game in a fair and equitable way to keep the players safe, to keep the game enjoyable, so that everyone wants to participate.
Excuse me,
That's
George.
the type of referees we need. Pedro, please.
Yeah, real quick, everyone. My name is Pedro Trejo. I'm glad you're here today. The QR code that you see on your screens that George is sharing, it's open now. It takes 2 to 3 minutes to complete. Please continue the conversation. If you have more questions, we have a little bit more time. But if you're ready, take the 2, 3 minutes to complete this. It is for feedback so that we can, make adjustments and improve these sessions for you. And then secondly, a quick comment in terms of the first question earlier, George, if I may, in terms of finding different assignments and different level of game. And of course, each of you is at a different step in your journey as referees. Some of you are more beginning, some of you are intermediate, some of you are a little bit, more advanced. So take that into account, as George was saying, as to who do you reach out to. Search the websites as well for the leagues that are close to. If it's youth that you want to focus on, then there's a lot of options there. If it's adult that you're ready to focus on, again, have those conversations with assigners to see what leagues they assign and how that fits what you're looking for in terms of your progression and how comfortable you are doing different types of games. Thank you, George.
Are there any other questions? And remember, there are no bad questions. This is a great forum to answer it. Zach Gaidar, who's on the call with us, is a very skilled senior official. I've done games at the adult amateur league level. We can give you some great ideas or answer questions.
I think I can ask a question for the audience and maybe we can get just a conversation going. But George, I'll send it to you first. Would it be worth noting on some kind of referee resume, be it written or if your resume is your voice and you use that at games or at events and you let that be your platform? Would it be in a referee's best interest to name drop? For example, if a referee worked what they consider to be a high level game, could they include that experience, but not just the game, but the crew members? Because as I understand it, the referee, to use one of our questionnaires word, referee landscape, it, in my opinion, can come all down to networking. So if you were to say, yeah, I worked a U16 state cup game, but you want to know who was running my line, and would that kind of plug be as valuable, maybe even more so than your 30-second elevator speech?
In fact, it can be. And again, this goes down to the point I was trying to make, which is it's important to write down pertinent experience. Working a state cup game, those are elite assignments. Now, you may be a relatively new referee. In fact, we had a relatively new referee working the Peary Cup, which is not exactly the state cup, it's the level 2 below it, but still was working a Peary Cup game and got feedback from a mentor recently. But writing down stuff like that, first off, if you're the center, talk with your ARs and say, hey, you know what, I'm thinking of listing this on my resume. Would it be okay if I named you as references in case someone wants to see how I did in the center? Now, it's important if you're going to do something like that, use reflection. Ask, okay, what went well during this game? What could have gone better? Were there any key moments where we could have responded better or we could have handled the game better. And then go quiet and listen. Don't fill the gap, because we're all tempted to fill the gap with more discussion, but go quiet. For example, well, Pedro, what did you see? Zach, what did you see? What did you think about this moment? Work to elicit comments that can help you develop as a referee, help you improve as a referee. And then after you've done that, ask the next question, which is, this is a pretty good game. I'd like to use this to help me get new games. Could I list you as references, as people who worked as a line for me during this game? And if they say yes, then do it.
I'd like to add, George, if I may, for maybe a subgroup or subpopulation of referees, it is very important, as Zach mentions, who you work with, because if you're trying to move up to regional or national, again, it's a smaller group, but that information is asked for in those questionnaires as you apply for regional or national. What was the game, and then of course adult game, but who was there working with you? AR1, AR2, fourth official, if any, etc. So that's very important. Thank you both, Zach and George.
All right, well, not to belabor it and keep people on here longer than we need to, are there any other questions? Okay, well, it appears that there are no further questions. This is actually a pretty easy thing to do once you get into it. If you have any questions, you can send them. Oh, Romario, please go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Hello.
You're on.
Staples. No. You hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, George. I have a question. I heard is in July is a new rule for the goalie, for keeper. If you got 10 seconds, you give a yellow card or is a warning, or I don't know. I heard it's coming, the new rule in July or June or something like that.
The new rule is from FIFA. It has
Yes.
not been incorporated into USSF yet, so we don't enforce it until USSF sends us direction to enforce it. It is 8 seconds now for goalkeeper possession. We use a visible count like they do in basketball. And at 8 seconds, instead of it being an indirect free kick, it becomes a corner kick. Now, if you have a team that is lethal with corner kicks, this can be a great advantage to them. If they can bend it like Beckham, as they say, this could be a goal scoring opportunity. Personally, I think they should have kept it at 6 seconds without a visible count and then the corner kick. However, they didn't ask me because I'm not on the committee. So I will do what I am told when I am told by US Soccer. Right now, it is a FIFA rule. It is one of the rules that is being introduced and is being tried out in the big leagues, and it may come down to us. It has not as of yet, though, as far as I know.
So it's not yet. Probably next year.
It could be this fall. It depends on what US Soccer decides to do, and I'm not privy to those conversations. When it comes out, it will be sent out to all referees.
Okay. If because I just want to know, because if I do Latino leagues too sometimes, and if the coach come and yell at me and there's no rule or whatever, I mean, I say it's the FIFA is not pro yet, so I can say what I can't do anything.
Well, I'm going to defer to Pedro on this one because he's a lot closer to US Soccer than I am, and he may have some insights.
Yes, thank you, George. Thank you, Ramiro, for your question. It's a little bit off topic, but yes, George is correct when he says that any law changes that are being talked to by IFAB right now, they are not implemented until July. Okay, and like George mentioned too, U.S. Soccer, the federation, will send communication to us, but feel free to check the website, Ramiro, IFAB. IFAB is the website,
I have.
and they have it in English, in Spanish, Italian, French, plus other languages, and they'll have law changes, and then they'll tell you July 1st is when it's going to start, you know. But then the other caveat here is that if a league has already started before this changes officially on, they may still use the old rule until that league finishes. So again, it's a question of asking the leagues, confirming, as George said, what US Soccer is telling us to do when, and then checking the website to review what George said about the procedure and all the changes, not just the goalkeeper, but any other changes. That's fair enough, Ramiro?
Yes, enough. Thank you.
Okay, good.
That's a good question. Thank you for sharing it.
No, thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Quick reminder, George, if I may, the QR code is active. Use your phone and scan the QR code with your camera phone. And so you can give us, we already have 6 responses, so this is great.
Thank
Please
you.
give us feedback. We hope to get all 11 or 15, however many people were here. And then also you might have noticed a couple of links on the chat. One is the link for the Illinois Soccer Referee Committee, where George mentioned you can find the assigner list. There's about just over 70 assigners across the state of Illinois. And then there's another link, which is resources. And George mentioned that there's some webinars, a webinar that in the past and some coming. We have recordings of previous webinars on that website that says resources at the end. So if you have some time, you want to check it out, there's valuable information there as well. Thank you. Back to George.
Just wanted to say I'll sincerely appreciate any feedback you can provide. This presentation went from its original incarnation, which was directed more towards senior officials, and was redirected to come down more towards the entry-level officials who will most likely benefit from this. So if you're not sure where to go, some of you know me, Bruce, Don, Ninos. If you need information, drop me an email. If not, send a note to the Illinois Soccer Referee Committee. They will put you in touch with me, and I will help you to the best extent I can to help you develop an excellent document to best present your experience to assigners so that you can be successful and make the money. Zach, would you like to wrap us up?
Sure, George. Thank you for a great presentation. Folks, those of you on the call, we are at the end of our time. We will keep this chat open. We will keep this going for the next few minutes. We will cut off as late as 8 o'clock, but recording will stop right now.